Hello, everyone. We hope everyone is doing well this evening. We are going to welcome all of our candidates with us briefly, but we want to ask and say thank you so much for coming out. We welcome you all to our ASI Elections Board of Directors Open Forum. Our ASI team is so excited to help moderate today's event, and we are going to start with some brief introductions. Hello, everyone. I'm Sage Kiner. I'm the ASI's program manager. I'm going to hand it over to my friend Rosario.
Hi everyone, I apologize if you hear the motorcycle in the back, but my name is Rosario and I'm a program specialist for ASI.
Alrighty, and we are going to begin with addressing some of the details for how today's open forum will run, including some brief rules to follow. So rules for the open forum. Candidates, please keep yourself muted when not asked to speak to be respectful of everyone's time. Each candidate will have 1 minute to introduce themselves. Following this brief rules, each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to the moderated question section, and each candidate will have a chance to provide a 1 minute closing statement at the end of the event. I will be putting up both hands, signifying that you have 10 seconds left as such. When the moderator puts their hand up, I will put my virtual hand up as such. This will signify that this is the end of your time. And we're going to go ahead and start with our introductions with our candidates. The order will go as followed. Swanee Echavarria, well, you have exactly 1 minute and you may start now.
Hi, y'all. Thank you for joining us this evening after what was said earlier, probably a very long day. So I like to say that I was actually the College of Arts and Letters director 2 years ago for the school year of 2019-2020. And this year I am currently serving as the director of the College of Education. So I love to continue serving for the students, my constituents, continually providing some leadership and serving the students, addressing concerns across the board. I believe that my intersectionalities as a student, as a parent, as an immigrant, as a woman has helped me thus far, and I would hope to continue following the desires of my constituents and serving them. Thank you.
Thank you, Swanee. We'll go next with Alexia. You have exactly 1 minute starting now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Alexia Marcel. I'm a second-year communications major, and I actually work at UGS. So I believe that experience has really helped me working with students, and I really want to further, helping students. So I think this is the great position for me. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. So I think I really want to be like the advocate for students, to help them get their voice out there, to the board. And if they have any concerns, especially students of the College of Arts and Letters, I'll be the person they come to bring that attention, bring those issues to the attention of the board.
Thank you, Alexia. Our next candidate is Guadalupe. You have exactly 1 minute starting now.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here with all and that you guys were able to join us. My name is Guadalupe Romero. I'm a second-year biopsych major, and I previously served on the ASI team as a student-at-large representative, and I am running for the board of directors for the College of Social and Behavioral Science because I really just want to continue advocating for students, and especially for the students in my department that I am currently majoring in. And I'm just a really big advocate for student rights and making sure that the students or campus are feeling heard and that there's a voice on the team for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Guadalupe. We're going to move on to August next. You have exactly 1 minute starting now. We will restart.
Okay,
you have exactly 1 minute starting.
All right, hi everyone. First, I'd like to start off by saying thank you for coming out tonight. We appreciate you coming out and hope to answer any questions that you may have for us. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is August Torres. I'm a second-year kinesiology major, and I'm running for the board of directors for the College of Natural Science. I believe that their unity is in strength. That's why I wear that coyote, the wolf pack. And so that is what I hope to reinforce. Social distancing and all this kind of stuff happening has segregated us into different areas. And I say that meaningfully because, everyone's kind of in their own little bubble. And I hope to bring back specifically the College of Natural Science together. at the College of Natural Science, we all have the ideology to improve humanity. So we're all going to want to improve humanity as together. So as the transparency, information, clarity are all very important details as we transition back into a sort of a hybrid model into campus. So that's what I hope to do, and just thank you for coming out today.
Thank you, August. We're going to move on to Michael. You have exactly 1 minute starting now.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. So background on me, my name is Michael Vasquez, and I'm running for the position of Graduate Studies Rep for the Board of Directors. I'm a first-year public administration student, and I also work part-time at a nonprofit that advocates for renters' rights, healthy housing, renter protection, stuff like that. While I was pursuing my bachelor's degree, I actually had the opportunity to serve in student government. So I have that experience serving students, and I kind of know what's expected of the role. You have your commitments, you have your board meetings, office hours, and I'm really doing this because I want to be of service to my fellow grad students. I know many of them are working full-time jobs and are also full-time students, and they probably can't run for the position themselves. So I want to be their voice and represent them. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Just some reminders for our audience. We will be having an audience Q&A at the end of the event, or towards the end of our moderated section. If you have any questions for our candidates, please put them in the chat below. If you have any questions for a specific candidate on this panel, please indicate that in your question. We are now going to begin with our moderated Q&A portion, starting with question number 1. As a reminder, you will have 2 minutes to respond. Once you see both hands up for 10 seconds, I will then put my virtual hand up for your time that has been concluded. We are now going to start first with question number 1. All right, so being a representative in the board of directors requires dedication, communication, and advocacy. Please explain your experience in those areas and how it qualifies you for this position. Candidates, just a reminder, if you would like me to repeat the question, do not hesitate. We're going to start first with Swanee. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Can you repeat the question? I'm like, that was a lot.
You're good, you're good. So being a representative in the board of directors requires dedication, communication, and advocacy. Please explain your experience in those areas and how it qualifies you for this position. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I apologize, audience. So I would say that my dedication comes from being an older student. My dedication comes from being a mom, running a household, being able to advocate not only for my own children at home. I'm in education, and I've been in education for the last 18 years. So I've had to be the advocate for all of my students. They're English learners. So I have to advocate with them, with counselors, with parents, and just with the community as a whole. The commitment that I have comes because I want to continually be an educator. I'm in a credential program to be a Spanish high school teacher. So that's kind of like my driving force. That's kind of the passion and the essence of what I do and the reason why I do it. The advocacy is all rolled up within the same thing as well, because when I had to dedicate time out of my day, time out of my work day to be able to advocate for my students, I had to be sometimes the voice that they couldn't be, not only for the students, but for the parents as well, working for the English learner community. So that's what I would like to continue to be able to do here for the constituents, for the students, or for the campus as a whole.
Thank you, Swanee. We're going to move on to Alexia. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, I can. Being a representative on the board of directors requires dedication, communication, and advocacy. Please explain your experience in those areas and how it qualifies you for this position. You have 2 minutes starting now.
Okay. Well, I believe my experience as a student assistant for undergraduate studies, I help a lot of students, providing them with the services that they have that can give them like an easier way for their undergraduate journey. So like tutoring and everything. So when students have like questions like, oh, where can I go to get tutoring from this or tutoring for my math class? Like I help them and I make sure communicate with them that they understand that. I also this year have experience with working alongside HPAC, which is a health advising profession center, where we help students advise if they want to go to medical school, dental school, nursing school. And this week I've helped a lot of students with advising, since this week is the week that students pick summer and fall classes. Some of them could not get an appointment, so I really had to help them, communicate with them, make sure they got the right information of where they can make their appointments, if they can't make an appointment, how to help them to pick their classes as well. And I believe also some students in the College of Arts and Letters have been having issues already with advising. So I have actually brought that up to some people already and advocating for them, because they were really upset with everything. And I told them, don't worry, we'll get this solved, right away. So I have mentioned it to a group of people and they have been trying to take care of it. But I believe working in that just helped me a lot with just helping a lot of students in anything they can do. And I've gotten so many like comments about like, oh, thank you so much, you helped me a lot, like now I know how to make appointments, now I know how to do this and everything. So I want to further that with this position. I want to further helping students, not just in my major, but also in the whole College of Arts and Letters.
Thank you, Alexia. We're going to move on to Guadalupe. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
So my dedication for everything that I'm doing just really comes from all of the help that I've gotten throughout my years at CSUSB. And a lot of the times I love talking to people and with my peers and everyone around me. And I get into very deep conversations and in-depth conversation about issues that are going on. And I'm not someone who likes to sit there and like, oh, I'll wait for someone to figure out the issue. No, I like to do something about it, because I'm not going to ever wait for no one to do it. I want to solve, if I can solve something and if I have the skills, which I know I do, I know I could fix that and help a lot of students overall. And my commitment is because I have a huge love for CSUSB. This campus has given so much to me my first year and helped me so much during difficult times. I want to continue giving back, and that's why I've gotten involved in the leadership roles that I previously have done with ASI, because I want to continue giving back to all of the students and making sure that they know that there's a voice on the team who is a student just like them that is here to represent them. And my advocacy, I've been an advocate for so many things throughout my life. I'm a big advocate for sustainability, for human rights of different ethnicities, and just making sure that everyone feels like they are included. And so my advocacy continues to go on throughout my experiences, and I want to continue just fighting for rights and making sure that everyone on campus is heard and that they know there's a voice on the team for them.
Thank you, Guadalupe. We're going to move on to August. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Could you please repeat the question?
Yes, of course. Being a representative on the board of directors requires dedication, communication, and advocacy. Please explain your experience in those areas and how it qualifies you for this position.
I think a lot of my passion is information, and some students may not know everything. And so I have a dedication for telling people like, hey, this is what's going on, or this information's happening, or you could try this route to this route. Knowledge is power, and finding out different opportunities and places that you can do with certain like information is basically changing. Information for the position for a board of directors, right? Not many people have known about it, and that's why information is power. I've been dedicating a lot of my time to different various clubs and organizations. I was even at orientation leader last year, and actually being a part of that helps me kind of realize that I want to redefine and try to focus more primarily on doing better in one aspect. So I'm dedicating more time just to focus on primarily helping improve the College of Natural Sciences, whether it be specifically advocating for doing in-person labs, because a lot of students have been complaining about wanting to do labs in person. And communication within the kind of coronavirus situation is a little bit frustrating, because it's hard to communicate with people with email. It's hard to communicate with people in different aspects. So finding different ways to communicate them, and maybe not even speaking like in a public setting, because I know like in a Zoom I've had like little presentations where not many people want to talk. Maybe meeting more people individually and focusing on that individuality rather than the entire picture as a whole. At the end of the day, if I can help one person, then I've done my job in my position. So I want to continue to advocate for people and help them, whatever to choose. Because the College of Natural Sciences, it's a huge field with different possibilities and different options. And just giving that information to people is an important factor, moving forward, especially again, transitioning into a hybrid approach.
Thank you, August. We'll be moving forward with Michael. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
I would also like a repeat of the question. Sorry,
Yes,
the
of course.
fifth time, but
And
it's a longer question.
just moving forward as well, we'll be putting the question in the chat too, just so you all have access to it, because we acknowledge they are some longer ones, so bear with us. The question is, being a representative on the board of directors requires dedication, communication, and advocacy. Please explain your experience in those areas and how it qualifies you for this position. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Yes, thank you. I mean, I would say my dedication comes from just how fortunate I am to be in, this position, first generation college student, first generation college graduate, second generation immigrant. I just, I feel obligated to, do my best and help others. And, just that service mindset. I, have chosen difficult fields to work in. The nonprofit industry isn't necessarily the one that comes from people who join that field aren't necessarily wanting too much in return. It's a difficult job, and not too many people are thankful for it. As far as communication, every role I've ever been in requires communication. In my previous student government role, constantly directing students to services, and they're not always fun services. Sometimes they're sadder services, as we should say, or due to unfortunate circumstances, this person needs this service, and we need to be there to communicate, their options and how we can help them. As far as advocacy, I feel like the only avenue for achieving any type of, ideal, whatever you're trying to achieve, is through advocacy. You need to advocate for yourself. You need to advocate for others. And as far as what I've done personally, I've advocated in, through my nonprofit housing position, but I've also had the opportunity to advocate, through student government to the lieutenant governor, multiple members of the CSU board of trustees, state senators saying, we need more funding, we need more support, and that's what you're there for. And that's what I intend to do as a director. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We're going to be moving on to the second question, starting back first with Swanee. So the second question states, what makes you an ideal representative for this position? You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
I guess I would say that I'm not sure that I'm ideal, but I think that I've worked hard. I think that I have the heart for it. I have, with everything that I do, I try to be intentional in servicing students, be intentional in how I communicate with people, in building relationships, because I think that's one of the things that definitely helps along in life, along in a position like this, and along in the field that I'm going to go into, which is education. So I'm also open-minded to feedback from my constituents and from others. And I'm very thankful for the mentors that I have and the mentors that are going to continually come my way, so that I can a little more concisely do what I'm supposed to do and the best of my ability for the students and the student community.
Thank you, Swanee. We'll be moving forward to Alexia. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
I would agree with what Suwani said. I'm not ideal either, but I feel like my dedication, I dedicate everything, to school. I work hard in school. I work hard in my occupation. And I believe when I have this position, I'm working hard for the students. They're ultimately the ones that we're helping in this position. And I will really work hard for them to make sure their issues be brought up, as well. I'm very, dedicated to the students, with so many experiences that I have this semester, I'm very dedicated to them. You know, I always tell every student, even in my classmates, my project, like the kids that I have projects with, I always tell them, if you ever have questions, you know, I'm here for you. I'll be there for you. Like I can, you know, if you need anything, like I'll try to get help for you. You know, I've also, I'm very dedicated to students as well. I had an example just this week. I have a friend who just got admitted as a transfer student to CSUSB, and she had no clue how to, you know, do anything. So I really had to help her. You know, I tried to show her my Coyote. She didn't even know what my Coyote was. I tried to help her with the student center, how to get off her hold, you know, how to pick classes and everything. So I feel like that, you know, I will be very dedicated to the students in this position, and just to make sure that they get everything they need, you know, and everything that they want to bring up, you know, and issues, anything, you know, I will be there for them. So I believe that's why I'm perfect for this position.
Thank you, Alexia. We'll be moving forward to Guadalupe. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
So, sorry, I was reading the question again. What makes me an ideal representative for this position is, well, I have, like I previously mentioned, I have experience already in leadership positions. Like I said, I was a student at large representative for the ASI team. So I really learned about student needs and just really figuring out what are the students need on campus. And I was part of this lobby corps team with ASI, and we really were advocating for a bunch of student rights that they needed, and like mental health resources, funding, and a lot of different types of funding that they needed. So a lot of that I learned through there about students and what the needs that they needed. But I think what really makes me the ideal candidate for this position is my dedication, my work ethic, and the love I have for what I'm doing. Like I said, I am a biopsych major, but one of my other big passions alongside with that is making sure I can help as many people as possible. And I think that and the love I have for wanting to help individuals, and the passion I have and the love I have for CSUSB makes me an ideal candidate, because I do everything with so much work and I make sure everyone's voice is being heard, but I also do it with so much love because I truly do love what I'm doing. And these leadership roles have taught me so much, and I want to continue that and help as many people as possible. And that's what makes me the ideal candidate for this position.
Thank you, Guadalupe. We'll be moving forward to August. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Okay, yeah. So what makes me ideal is everyone's gonna say that we have passion for you guys, and we do. We really want to be here for you. What makes me ideal is that, like, I like to have my hand in the cookie jar. So I'm everywhere and anywhere I can be. If there's any opportunity or option to help a student, like whether that be helping them direct, like choosing something to be like looking into, like a club or a field or an internship, I jump into it. I'm, as many people within the College of Natural Sciences, kinesiology student station, free physical therapy, pre-dentistry, like these are all clubs that I've kind of interacted to an extent. So the willingness for me to put myself out there and to kind of go out there and ask students to actually go inside the community and ask, like, what's their concerns, what are their issues, and it's just a surprise to me that some of these clubs, like, they don't want to work with each other. And just, I want to be that bridge between different people, like within the student body, with the professors, with them, like just being everywhere is also part of being a leader, and just taking initiative, so taking risks. I want to be that person that, even though I may fall, I stumble down the stairs or even mess up, I'll be that person to help, be that little trailblazer and saying, hey, like, it's okay to mess up, or hey, it's okay. And just, again, bridging that gap with transfer students. Like, a lot of the focus that I want to try to have, at least for if I get elected to the position, is focus on transfer students. Transfer students make up a good majority of our students, and there's not a lot for them to do. Like, we have our clubs, we have our activities. So really trying to advocate for those transfer students, and commuter students, like trying to advocate for everybody. So not leave, like, putting myself in the hand of the cookie jar means everyone is getting, like, be helped out at that, in that sort of sense.
Thank you, August. We'll be moving forward with Michael. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Thank you, and I have the question this time, so awesome. I would say what makes me ideal, nothing. I think I'm an incredibly, well, not incredibly, but somewhat flawed human being. But I would say first, what just helps me out is that I'm very fortunate to, I work part time. I work from home for this nonprofit, and a lot of other graduate students are working 40 hours a week, going to school another 10, doing homework another 10, doing reading another 5. So it's just very hard to throw on a 10 to 20-hour volunteer commitment as well. Also, my experience, I've, served in student government. I advocated for students. I've directed students to services, served on personnel searches for university executive leadership. So I definitely know what's expected of me. I would also say just who I am personally. I'm about to hype myself up. Sorry if this sounds terrible. But I think I have a strong work ethic. I think I am a good person. I think I am also incredibly open and transparent about what I want to get done, what I believe, but I'm also very open-minded and social, and I am willing to listen to anyone about anything, and take the criticism or the praise and adapt that into how I do things, and that's what I would do as a director. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We'll be moving forward with our third question. What ideas or efforts would you bring forth to improve your constituents' experience? And we'll start off with Swanee. You have exactly 2 minutes starting now.
Thank you. So I would say the ideas and efforts would be first to continue some of the things that I've worked on this year as a director for the College of Education. I do have a couple things in the works. So I would want to continue that, being able to bring the historical knowledge of what's been happening this year that we would like to continue next year. I think that that's very valuable. Being able to bridge that gap, kind of like August said, bridge that gap among what the transfer students need, what the little older students need, a little more mature, seasoned students need. I think that that's always in the back of my mind. And the effort is there because I'm a servant leader. I want to serve the students. I want to serve my constituents. I want to serve my peers. And I think that's where, I guess that's where the essence of it comes.
Thank you, Swanee. We'll be moving forward with Alexia. You have 2 minutes starting now.
So one idea I would actually bring forth to improve the experience of students under the College of Arts and Letters is for sure advising. There has been issues with advising under the College of Arts and Letters. Students aren't very happy with the advising, how it works. It's like a half and half. Half students are happy and half students are not. So I have personal friends that are under the same college as me that did not like the advising that they got. So that was one issue that I would like to bring up, is to try to at least bring something to advising to help the students, like, so they can be happy about it. Some of them were just like, oh, I don't want this, this is not helping. They didn't like, the high demand for meetings as well, like there's no more meetings and stuff. But I did tell them, it is what it is. It is the school, we do have a lot of students, but I will for sure bring that up if there's anything we can do to help you guys make that experience more better. As well as we mentioned transfers. My friend is a transfer student. Her experience is really hard. She is a deaf student. So she is trying her best, to understand and everything. And she has been getting the help, but I feel like, closing that gap, as everybody said, giving them the best experience that they can get. I tried to help her as much as I can. And then, I just want to, now that I saw her go through that, I was like, yeah, we need to, another issue I would bring is the transfer students, especially under my college as well, try to close that gap, make sure they get everything they need. And like you said, I think August, you said that, they only have a little bit of time here, bring their experience, make sure they have the best experience they have at this school. So that's one thing that I would bring up.
Thank you, Alexia. We'll be moving forward to Guadalupe. You have 2 minutes starting now.
Thank you. So this is something I actually think about a lot, because as a current student, as a second year student, I've had a lot of different experiences with other people my first year where there were issues going along and we just really wanted change. But one thing that I am truly passionate is making sure that there is a clear communication with our campus, with our administration and students, that there is no confusion with a lot of things going on, that there is a clear communication where students are being involved in a lot of decisions that are being made on campus, of, like, for example, like campus being open back up or not being back up. I know there's a lot of confusion where people are asking, well, are we going to go back? Are we not? And I feel like we need to have that clear communication with students and making sure they're involved and they know what's going on in campus. So one of my things I'm very passionate about is making sure that the students on campus know about everything that's going on with campus updates, that they're the first ones to know. And as well, part of ASI, I am part of the safety working group committee, and making sure that there is a safety going on with students and that they feel safe on campus and they can trust their PD, because I know there's so many issues going on in the world right now with police brutality, and I know that it's very important for students to feel safe on their very own campus and making sure that they know who is there to protect them. And even right now during Zoom times, students still need to be protected during these times, even if it's virtually. And for my department, specifically College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, I know that there's been also issues with students finding out about resources on this specific department and knowing where to go for find out more about like graduate school or different things like that. So I really want to make sure students, there are resources and different events made for students in this department, so they can know and they feel like, yeah, I'm prepared to go to graduate school if I want to, because this my department gave me the resources and are helping me get there. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Guadalupe. We'll be moving forward to August with 2 minutes. All right, starting now.
Okay, so college is about experience, right? We all come to college to experience different relationships, to different people. We're all kind of learning how our society works. You know, college is like the mini version of real life. So I want to try to focus a lot on taking initiative and actually like participation. You know, a lot of people kind of just go through college and they just go through the motions. You know, they go to class and they go home. You know, and they miss out on the experience of joining the club or taking part in doing something else. So something that is not often like talked about, that many students may not be aware, is research. You know, research provides a lot of opportunity to open people's minds to consider different options, to take part of something that may be an interest to you. So try to promote like research and internships, you know, getting the experience. You know, as a kinesiology major, you know, I require that hands-on and that try to get exposure. So again, exposing to students, because that is important, you know, especially for first years. For first years primarily, you know, helping them transition. You know, in my personal experience, after doing orientation, you know, some of the first years are kind of just like, yeah, go kind of figure it out, and they could use a little bit more guidance. For the transfer students, you know, I had a couple of transfer students when I was in orientation saying, oh, what are some internships? So maybe even providing more. So maybe taking care, like maybe bringing some mentorships programs, you know, other than, you know, currently what we have. Commuter students, again, engaging in helping them reach out, you know, helping them connect with, you know, why does there need to be a segregation between, you know, on campus and commuter? You know, why can't we just all be like one? And also even parents too, considering the fact that, you know, I saw that childcare, you know, we want to make sure that we have parents you know, who work and do all that stuff, make sure that they're well taken care of. You know, we want to help them get their education. That's why they're here at CSUSB. So again, providing that, again, bringing back people to the campus and taking initiative and being a part of, you know, CSUSB, you know, the wolf pack. That's who we are.
Thank you, August. We'll be moving forward with Michael. You have 2 minutes starting now.
Yes, thank you. So what I would do to you know, improve the experience of my constituents and just the campus overall, especially, I think we really need to continue to emphasize basic needs. And for me, the pandemic really highlighted the need to expand basic needs programs to provide a safety net for our students. I, you know, personally encountered many close friends, acquaintances who, because of the pandemic were having trouble feeding themselves, and that's something I definitely think that we can combat. Also inclusivity, and you might think, oh, our campus is pretty inclusive, and it is, and a lot of the things that we do are, very inclusive to, all people, and our students have like a safe space on the campus. But something that I've noticed is that there's a big gap between undergraduate students and graduate students. For sure, many graduate students, at least that I've encountered, I've told them about a service or a resource, and they're like, we have that? And it's like, yes, we do have that. So I think I want to definitely work on bridging that gap between, students, grad students and undergrads, who's going for these resources. And also, I'd be really interested in looking into, how we could compensate future generations of student leaders. I come from another institution where student leaders are compensated to some degree, and I really don't want future generations of student leaders who are maybe financially disadvantaged to make the choice between providing for themselves, feeding themselves, or running for an office like this. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you all candidates for your answer during our moderated Q&A section. We are now going to be moving forward to our live Q&A portion of this event. Candidates, we will also be moving the response time to 1 minute response for this portion. So I'm going to go ahead and just remind you all that these questions have been asked from the audience and also our social media platforms. So our first question is from our current President Graciela, who asked, what does leading with love mean to you? And we'll be starting with our first candidate, Swanee. You have exactly 1 minute to respond to this question. Starting now.
Thank you. Leading with love, I will say putting yourself in that student's position, speaking to them. Earlier, I mentioned building relationships. I think when you build relationships with different students from different walks of life, that's what kind of guides you to understand, even if it's just a little bit more than you did before, where they're coming from and where they're at in life. And so I think that's seeing them as humans, seeing them as students, and seeing them as your peers, and just building a relationship. I think that definitely can solidify leading with love, because you're willing to try to understand them a little bit better.
Thank you, Sani. We'll be moving forward to Alexia. You have exactly 1 minute starting now.
So what does leading with love mean to me? I would say like the first word that comes into my head is passion, passion and dedication to the students, just making sure that they're satisfied and that they're happy with what they need and what they want. The relationship thing as well, building up a relationship with them is key. Clear communication with them. I think passion for students, like, serving students can really like drive you a long way and try to make sure that every student is happy. Like I said before, I really, in my projects, like I always tell every student, hey, like if you need something, I'm right here. Like if you need something, service, you could just let me know and I'll try to get someone to talk to you or help you, or even students that say, oh, I have a paper due. I had a student one time tell me, I have a paper due. Do you know where I can go? I said the writing center. So I believe like dedicating my dedication to them and passion to them, that's what it means.
That was perfect. Oh, hear my timer going off. But thank you so much, Alexia. We'll be moving forward with Guadalupe for exactly 1 minute response starting now.
So for me, what leading with love means, making sure I got that right, it's just making sure that you love what you're doing. And I know that seems like a very obvious thing, but even there are going to be times where being in certain situations it's going to get tough, it's going to get stressful, but just remembering why you're doing what you're doing and knowing that you're doing this because you truly love it and you're dedicated to this, just always remembering that and knowing what you're doing. I think that's very important, as well as making sure that everyone's voice is heard and that you never exclude anybody out for any reasons. And one of the most important things I think is overall respecting everyone of different opinions. And even if someone doesn't agree with you for what you say or something that you bring up, just making sure that you respect everyone is extremely important, because there are going to be times where in these positions where someone's not going to agree with you, or you're not going to agree with someone, but making sure everyone is respected and that they know that, okay, I could speak because, oh,
Thank you, Guadalupe.
sorry.
No worries. We'll be moving forward to August. You have exactly 1 minute to respond to this question, starting now.
All right. So leading with love means understanding your audience. So we're all peers, right? We're all trying to achieve some sort of degree, some maybe in higher degree. We're all trying to achieve something, right? So we need to understand like where we're going, what our life situation is, what our current situation, what are our goals. We all have different goals. So being a leader needs to like understand like we're at different stages and we have different needs and necessities. So being respectful and understanding and being honest about it too. On the opposite side of that, you also need to be honest and upfront with them. You know, you can't be like, oh, my kid, like a little like baby. That like you're an adult. Surprise! Like you need to start doing something. But also being understanding how to take that approach, whether that be forcefully, passively, whatever it be. You just need to be honest because I think we need that. It's just being more honest about the situation. Because time waits for no man. So keep that in mind.
Thank you, August. We'll be moving forward to Michael. You have exactly 1 minute, starting now.
Yes, thank you. I would say leading with love is all about loving and respecting people who disagree with you. It's really easy to love someone who, says the exact same thing as you and believes the exact same thing as you. And, that's not what it's all about. It's about people who are disagreeing with you. And the way I've always approached those situations is I just imagine that this person was raised an entirely different way, maybe has a different education, a different set of experiences that have made them arrive at where they are now. And we shouldn't pass judgment because of that. And we should just love and respect and, listen and then go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And give me 1 second real quick as we just cover everything over one more time. Alrighty, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Rosario. She will be following up with the rest of our live Q&A and also our closing statement. So I want to thank you guys. I have to head over to class, but thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sage. So like she mentioned, we will be doing the closing remarks. So we'll be moving on to the candidates' closing remarks, starting in alphabetical order. Reminder, you each will have 1 minute to mention your remarks, and we'll be starting in alphabetical order with Alexia.
The closing remarks, correct?
Right, yeah.
So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. This was a fun experience, and I can't wait to further this fun experience with you guys. I can't wait to continue campaigning. It's been really fun, and I can't wait to hear anything you guys have to say, anything you guys need and want. And I'm glad to be running for this, and I hope to hopefully be your board of directors for the College of Arts and Letters.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have August. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I was just because of you. Yeah, thank you all for coming and just asking your questions and just hearing us out. Obviously, like I said, we have a lot of uncertainty. So as the board of directors and as everyone here, we want to provide some sort of clarity and some understanding, as we transition into a hybrid approach. We're all here for you. Just because we're in a specific, major or concentration or even like a school doesn't mean that we're not willing to hear you out or take your concerns. We're all here at the end of the day to support you, encourage you, to help you, to lead you, to guide you, whatever the case may be, or even just be a friend to someone to talk to. So as we kind of, decide our board of directors, whether we, make it on as elected officials or not, we're still gonna be here at the end of the day supporting you and continue to have pride for our school. And I hope that you have pride for our school and continue to share your knowledge and wealth to other students.
Thank you. And next, Guadalupe.
I really appreciate all of you guys coming out here and listening to us and all of our goals we have for our positions. And thank you guys so much for those who came out here supporting me. I really appreciate that. I hope you guys were able to really learn more about me and my goals and my dedication and all of my love for this campus, because I truly do love it so much. And I really hope I was able to show that all to you. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. And next up, we have Michael.
Awesome. Thank you. First, I want to thank everyone for being here on a Wednesday night. You guys are awesome. You all are awesome. What I would just want to close on is, this isn't about me, win or lose. I think I am still going to represent and advocate for grad students at the exact same level. And what I would say is that everyone here should definitely take the, responsibility, the initiative, and get 2-3 friends to vote and tell those 2-3 friends to vote as well. Because at the end of the day, the people here and the people who are going to be in the debate later in the week are going to represent you, not just for ASI, but to the whole state, to the whole CSU, and we just got to make a good decision. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. And last but not least, we have Swani.
Thank you, Rosario. So I'd like to thank, first of all, ASI. I'd like to thank the moderators for moderating this, for all the other candidates that are sharing the stage with me this evening. And I look forward to continuously serving the students, continually serving my constituents, and moving forward positively, despite all the circumstances that we've had to deal with during this time. So thank you.
Thank you so much, candidates. Before we do wrap up, I'd like to know if everyone's okay with the group photo. Feel free to either do the coyote sign. If you would rather have your camera off, just a quick thumbs up would be nice too. All right, so we'll get this started. Let's see. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, awesome. 1 second. Okay, so that concludes this open forum event. Thank you to our participating students that attended today and to our candidates for taking time out of their campaign to advocate on their positions. In addition, thank you to our ASI team for working hard to ensure voices are heard. Don't forget to attend our other events this week. Tomorrow we have our vice presidential debate happening at 12 p.m. Arcade Howl is also happening with the candidates soon this Friday at 5 p.m. Remember, voting days will be next week, April 28th and 29th. Your ballot will be available on your My Coyote email. Thank you so much, candidates, and thank you everyone who came out to show your support. We'll see everyone soon.